Three people in Montgomery County are facing charges tonight, accused of selling fake Jason Kelce sports memorabilia and raking in hundreds of thousands of dollars. The suspects allegedly peddled more than 1,000 of the forged items. Action reporter Brianna Smith, live in King of Prussia, with the details. Brianna.
Rick, the Montgomery County District Attorney's Office says more than 1,100 items with fake Jason Kelce signatures were sold. A man from Philadelphia was arraigned today, while the two other defendants are expected to turn themselves in. 51-year-old Robert Capone of Philadelphia is one of three people charged for allegedly selling forged Jason Kelce memorabilia worth over $200,000. 43-year-old Leanne Branco and 39-year-old Joseph Parenti, both from Rhode Island, are the other defendants. The Montgomery County District Attorney's Office says they're facing 60 felony counts, including forgery, theft by deception, and deceptive business practices. The criminal complaint states it started back in June when Kelce signed autographs during a private event at Valley Forge Casino Hotel. Professional Sports Authenticator was the sole verification company. Capone, who owns Overtime Promotions, Parenti, who owns Diamond Legends, and Branco, who is employed by Beckett Authentication Services, were at the event. The DA's office says Branco even took a photo with Kelce to validate her in-the-presence authentication of the items that were never actually signed by Kelce. The investigation discovered they used Beckett Authentication Services to sell more than 1,100 fake autographed items, including helmets, jerseys, and footballs. The complaint confirms Kelce did not meet with Branco or Parenti for the signings. One of the victims, Joseph Bartolo, who runs a nonprofit group that conducts silent auctions, says he paid Capone $4,700 for 40 autographs. He expected the items to have a PSA sticker, but they did not. Beckett Authentication Services apologized to those impacted in an email and stated, quote, "A bad acting independent contractor broke Beckett protocols. Luckily, we have identified this scheme, involved the authorities to take all proper legal action, and are now looking to buy back all the fraudulent memorabilia." And Beckett says all those impacted will receive a full refund for their items and the shipping costs once they file a claim. They also filed a civil lawsuit against Branco and Parenti. Live in King of Prussia, Brianna Smith, Channel 6 Action News. Rick?
All right, Brianna, thank you.
What is going on, y'all? It's Coffee back at it, and Jason Kelce's name right in the middle of this, I guess we could say, sophisticated scheme. That's what the authorities are saying here, and you hear the reports there. One of the three individuals, there's only a picture for the one who has been arrested and whatnot. The other two still on the run, I guess you could say. There's reports they may turn themselves in or not, but one of them owned a sports company, quote unquote, loosely calling it that. As you see, it's more or less a criminal enterprise to create scams is what it's looking like. Another individual worked for Beckett. Y'all know about Beckett, man. You get the sports memorabilia prices and rookie cards and this and that. What's everything worth? Yo, check it out in the Beckett, right? Well, someone who worked for Beckett, I guess, as like an independent contractor of sorts of their own, was doing it on some foul scammery. And the other individual, I forget exactly their side of it all, but at the end of the day, we're going to go over it all. Authorities are saying, man, they had quite the scheme and scam together. As you see, they flat out said this isn't some small time hustle. It's a calculated scam. Branco even took a photo with Kelce at a legitimate signing event at Valley Forge Casino Hotel, June 11th through 12th, 2024. That photo became a part of their cover story, used alongside Branco's credentials from Beckett Authentication Services to falsely validate the forged items. So you peep ish like that. A lot of times people who aren't who they say they are, or they're not exactly who they say they are, or whatever, you know what I mean? They'll often say, hey, well, look at this. Look what I got here. You know what I mean? They'll have something that they'll try and run with a narrative, like that gives them some kind of credit or whatever. But in this case, it was all bullish. But that was a smart move. Again, this is no small time con here. They knew what they were doing, right? So they got the real picture, and then they got these forged items. And as you see, it says Capone, meanwhile, secured legitimate Kelce sign memorabilia during the event, but kept other items off-site. Why? To later flood the market with forged merchandise, selling it through his business, Overtime Promotions, and Parenti's company, what's it called? Diamond Legends. So that's why I was saying loosely calling it a company, because at the end of the day, these is just a couple of scamming ass companies. That's another thing you'll notice a lot of times when you see people do shady business, shady-ish. They'll always have more than one company. You know what I mean? A total different thing, right? But maybe if you follow the hip hop news at all, if not, it's no big deal. But for those that do, right, you've heard of Rapper the Game, and he's doing a lot of sucker-ish, moving money around, hiding it from this woman who won an actual assault lawsuit against him. And he's always making these new companies. Like, you guys remember, he had Prolific Records, right? Which a lot of Nipsey Hussle affiliates took issue with that because, you know, prolific was a term. You know what I'm saying? Nip had it tatted on his face or whatever. But the point is he's always got a new company and all that or whatever to cook the books and move money around. And that's not something uncommon by con artists like this, right? Now, carrying on, you see this picture here. This is the guy, Philadelphia man, 51, owner of Overtime Promotions, charged with selling 200,000 fake forged Jason Kelce signed memorabilia. Jerseys, hats, helmets, many helmets and photos. Robert Capone and two others from Rhode Island are charged with multiple felonies. What did it say on the one? Over 60? And then more details here. Listen to this. It says Montgomery County District Attorney Kevin R. Steele and Upper Marion Township Chief Blaine Lays announced the charging of Joseph Parenti, 39, Cranston, Rhode Island, on charges of forgery, theft, deceptive business practices, and other charges related to selling forged Jason Kelce signed memorabilia. In June, again, they made approximately $200,000. The other person is Robert Capone, and then Leanne Branco, and then Joseph Parenti. But again, the Capone guy is the only one that has been taken into custody thus far. Where were we at, though? We already got the part about how they got those real and fake items, right, at the Valley Forge Casino. Capone and Diamond Legends, owned by Parenti. The items were verified, quote unquote, by Branco, an employee of Beckett Authentication Services. The value of these 1,138 memorabilia items, including signed jerseys, helmets, mini helmets, hats, etc., as we just said, was approximately $200,000. Montgomery County detectives and Upper Marion police were alerted to the fraud and theft by TCH Humphreys Sports Memorabilia Company, located in Royersford, that had contracted with Kelce to conduct official signings of memorabilia at a private event. So I guess this company had talked to Kelce, you know what I'm saying, and found out that it was all a scam. It says these legitimate memorabilia items signed by Kelce were verified by professional sports authenticator. The investigation found that Capone, Parenti, and Branco conspired to use Branco's Beckett's authentication services credentials, butcher that, to create counterfeit autographed sports memorabilia and then offered it for sale as authentically contracted for products signed by Kelce. So basically, the Beckett person verified it is official when it was all bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, there's a lot of felonies here. These individuals are in big trouble. And man, think about it. You know, had they gotten away with this, 200,000, which is just the rough number that they're giving, split among 3 people, not bad for some, work for 3 criminals putting their heads together like that, but at the end of the day, crime don't pay, right? Seems more often than not, individuals get caught, and this Beckett company has been around forever. It's not a good look for them. I wonder if something like this has ever happened before, where someone who works for an official, company that can validate something, official or not, has ever been used and abused to hustle up some money and scam people, man. And so, Beckett ain't liking that. I'm sure Jason Kelce ain't liking this neither. And I don't know, we'll have to wait and see if these other 2 individuals are apprehended anytime soon. You know what I mean? Again, I kept saying, man, why is there only 1 picture of this individual? Well, they're the only one that's seen justice yet. Or the court process still has to play out, so justice ain't necessarily the proper terminology, but I mean, been arrested, been charged with the crime, where the court process has even started to begin, But I'm shocked, with that being said, that these other 2's pictures aren't being blasted out there like, hey, these other 2 pricks are wanted for scamming and all that, But I don't know. I wonder if we'll hear Jason Kelce talk about this at all. He's been away from football for a year now, right? A year or 2, and they got his name dirtied up in this mess, But there you have it, man. Pretty wild situation. I remember there was a brief time where the Buffalo Bills, this was what, 2010 or 11, 12, somewhere in that time frame, where Vince Young spent an off season with the Bills. He didn't end up making the final roster, but while he was in Buffalo, he ended up getting sued, and he found out that there was someone running around dirtying up his name. He had a imposter going around to different places scheming and scamming up money. There was this one high interest loan that the guy took out pretending to be Vince Young, and it is crazy, man. So that's some wild ish that goes down, man. Football players, athletes can get caught up in schemes and scams as well themselves. You know what I mean? They are most definitely not immune to it. But thanks for tuning in. Hit the comments, share your thoughts. It's Coffee signing out, y'all. Stay tuned for